What if the fish you've been feeding your elderly loved ones for years is actually putting them at serious risk? What if something as simple as their diet is silently jeopardizing their health in ways you've never considered? I know, it sounds shocking, right? But stay with me because this is something you really need to hear. Imagine this. You think you're doing the right thing, choosing healthy foods for your loved ones. But what if one of those foods, one that's been a staple in your home for years, is actually a ticking time bomb for their health? It's not just about keeping them fed, it's about making sure the food they eat is keeping them healthy and safe. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal which 3 popular fish you should never feed older adults, and why these seemingly innocent foods could be more dangerous than you realize. These are fish that you probably have in your kitchen right now, or ones you've been serving up for years without a second thought. But what you don't know about them could make all the difference. The truth is, we're not always told about the hidden dangers of certain foods, and for the elderly, it's especially crucial to pay attention. So don't go anywhere, because the knowledge I'm about to share with you could change how you think about your loved ones' meals forever. Stay tuned, because I'll not only show you which fish to avoid, but also why they're more harmful than you think. And I'm not just leaving you hanging with the bad news, I'll also give you safer, healthier alternatives that you can start adding to their diet today. You don't have to keep wondering if you're making the right choices when it comes to their nutrition. I'm here to help you get it right. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more important health tips for the elderly here at Elder Mature Moments. Because when it comes to the well-being of those you love, there's no room for mistakes. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. We all know fish is a healthy food, right? It's full of omega-3 fatty acids, protein, and other nutrients that are great for our hearts and overall health. But here's the thing, when it comes to seniors, not all fish are created equal. Some fish may sound like a great choice, but in reality they carry hidden dangers that could put your loved one's health in serious jeopardy. What if eating these fish regularly could actually lead to life-threatening conditions? It's not something most people think about, but trust me, it's something that could make a huge difference when it comes to your elderly loved one's well-being. And this is where it gets interesting. You see, there are certain types of fish that are so common, so widely accepted, that we don't even stop to think twice about them. But if seniors are eating these fish, they might unknowingly be putting themselves at risk for serious health issues. I'm talking about fish that on the surface seem perfectly harmless, maybe even healthy, but in reality they could be triggering conditions that you'd never expect. I'm about to walk you through 3 types of fish that seem harmless, but when consumed by seniors, they can trigger devastating health issues. Each one of these fish could be lurking in your kitchen right now. The first fish on our list, believe it or not, can actually be a silent killer. I'm not talking about the obvious dangers you might be thinking of, like choking hazards or the risk of food poisoning. No, this one is much more insidious. It could be doing its damage over time without you even noticing. You won't guess what it is just yet, but I promise you it's one of the most commonly consumed fish out there, and it's doing more harm than good. Now I know you're wondering, what's this fish? What could it possibly be? Well, stick around until the end to find out, because I'm not just going to tell you about it, I'm going to explain why it's so dangerous for seniors. Plus, there's one fish on our list that's the most commonly overlooked, and it could very well be in your fridge right now. It's often taken for granted as a safe choice, but in reality it's a ticking time bomb for older adults. Keep watching to uncover the full truth. You won't want to miss it. Sign 1. Fish high in mercury. There was a family who noticed their elderly mother was becoming forgetful, irritable, and even showing signs of fatigue. At first they thought it was just a part of getting older, something they could chalk up to the natural aging process. But the changes weren't just ordinary signs of aging. Her forgetfulness began affecting her daily life. She'd forget where she put things, she'd get frustrated over little things, and the energy she once had seemed to disappear. It wasn't until they took a closer look at her diet that they realized something shocking. Her regular meals included a fish that was known for being dangerously high in mercury. The doctors explained that mercury, a neurotoxin, had been slowly accumulating in her body over time. It had started affecting her brain, and the results were now clear: memory problems, mood swings, and even physical fatigue. If only they'd known about the risks of mercury in fish earlier, they could have made a difference. Mercury is a heavy metal, and it's incredibly dangerous, especially when it builds up in the body. It's a neurotoxin, meaning it directly affects the brain. What makes it worse is that the body doesn't easily get rid of mercury. When it enters the body, it stays there. Over time, as mercury accumulates, it starts to damage the brain and nervous system. This is particularly harmful to older adults, because as we age, our ability to detoxify and get rid of toxins decrease. It's like the body's natural cleaning system slows down, and these toxins have a chance to cause serious damage. Seniors are at a higher risk of mercury poisoning than younger people, because they're more likely to eat fish that is high in mercury, and because their bodies can't handle toxins as well as they once did. The consequences: cognitive decline, memory problems, mood changes, and even physical weakness. In some cases, it can even lead to full-blown neurological disorders that are hard to reverse. The effects might not be noticeable at first, but over time the damage can become devastating. Here's the thing: many people think that mercury is something to worry about only during pregnancy. You've probably heard that pregnant women should avoid fish with high mercury levels to protect the baby, and yes, that's true. But what most don't realize is that seniors too are incredibly vulnerable to mercury poisoning. In fact, their risk is often high. It's not just about avoiding mercury while expecting, it's about the long-term impact it can have on your health later in life. And the scary part: mercury poisoning in seniors can be slow and silent, sneaking up on them in ways that are hard to detect until it's too late. You see, by the time symptoms show up, the damage has already been done. Their memory might start to slip, they might feel tired or agitated for no reason, and they may even develop other serious health problems. And it all started with something as seemingly innocent as a fish they were eating regularly. I'll reveal which fish are the worst offenders later, but before we get there, let's move to the second fish on the list. This one is actually lurking in many common meals. You've probably heard of it, and you might even be serving it up at home right now, thinking it's a healthy option, but there's a twist you won't see coming. Keep watching, because what I'm about to share with you could completely change how you approach meal planning for your elderly loved ones. Sign 2: fish high in saturated fats. One family had no idea that their father's favorite fish, often served at family gatherings, was quietly contributing to his worsening heart condition. He had always loved it, rich, flavorful, and comforting, but over the years, as his health began to decline, his doctors kept warning them about his heart problems. They told him to cut back on certain foods, but somehow they never made the connection between his favorite fish and the issues he was facing. His family was shocked when they discovered that this particular fish, so frequently served at Sunday dinners, was actually high in saturated fats. They were devastated, realizing that something as simple as his beloved meal could have been making his heart condition worse, not better. It was heartbreaking to think that in their attempt to nourish him, they may have been doing more harm than good. You see, fish like this, often labeled as heart healthy, can be deceiving. These fish are high in saturated fats, which are known to raise cholesterol levels, and when cholesterol levels go up, so does the risk of heart disease, one of the leading causes of death in older adults. It's a dangerous cycle that can sneak up on you. These saturated fats can clog arteries, strain the heart, and worsen existing heart conditions. Now, it's true that fish is often considered a heart-healthy food, but the reality is that not all fish are created equal. While many fish are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which are beneficial for heart health, others, those high in saturated fats, can actually do more harm than good. And when these types of fish are consumed in excess, the negative effects add up. What seems like a healthy choice may not be so healthy after all, especially for older adults whose hearts are already vulnerable. There's a common misconception that all fish are good for the heart. People often think of fish as the ultimate healthy protein, lean, nutritious, and full of benefits. And yes, that's true for many types of fish, but the type of fish matters more than most people realize. Some fish are loaded with unhealthy fats, and it's these fats that can raise bad cholesterol levels, increase inflammation, and put extra strain on the heart. Many of us don't stop to think about the fact that certain fish, like salmon, sardines, and trout, are high in omega-3s, which are wonderful for cardiovascular health. But then there are others, like mackerel or herring, that can be loaded with saturated fat. While they may still offer some health benefits, eating too much of them can lead to serious heart issues over time. So when you're feeding fish to your elderly loved ones, it's important to be mindful of which fish you're choosing and how much of it they're eating. The danger lies in the fact that many people don't realize that these heart-healthy fish can be a double-edged sword. The issue isn't necessarily with fish itself, it's with the particular varieties that are high in saturated fats, and the lack of awareness about their potential risk. Before we look at the last fish on the list, let's take a quick moment to think about how often these healthy choices actually show up in our diets, and the potential risks they carry. We all want the best for our elderly loved ones, and feeding them what we think are healthy meals is part of that love, but sometimes those seemingly good choices may come with hidden dangers. So ask yourself, how often are we unknowingly adding these harmful fats to our loved ones' meals? How often do we think we're giving them something nutritious, only to realize we're feeding them something that could be undermining their health in the long run? Let's pause and reflect on this, because what we're about to discuss could make all the difference. Sign 3. Fish that could be contaminated with toxins. There was a shocking case where an elderly woman's routine of enjoying certain seafood led to her developing a serious illness. For years she had been eating the same types of fish every week, thinking she was making a healthy choice for herself. It was something simple, something she enjoyed, and something that had been part of her meals for as long as she could remember. But when she started feeling unusually tired, experiencing severe headaches, and showing signs of unexplained weight loss, her family grew concerned. After multiple doctor visits and tests, it was finally discovered that the source of her illness was the fish she had been eating regularly. Her family was devastated when they learned that the fish had been contaminated with dangerous toxins, which had slowly been harming her body over time. This woman, who had never imagined that something as harmless as eating fish could be the cause of her health issues, now had to face the reality that her favorite meals had contributed to a health crisis. It was a wake-up call that no one expected, one that highlighted just how hidden the dangers could be in something so seemingly innocent. You see, many fish, especially those that are farmed, can contain harmful toxins such as PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, or pesticides. These toxins are a byproduct of polluted waters, which can get into the fish through the feed they are given or the environment in which they are raised. These chemicals are known to negatively affect the immune systems of older adults, making them more vulnerable to infections and illness. Even more concerning is the fact that exposure to these toxins over time can lead to even more serious health problems, such as cancer, organ damage. The liver, kidneys, and even the brain can suffer as a result of the toxins accumulating in the body. And as seniors' bodies are already less efficient at detoxifying, the impact is often more severe and long-lasting. It's not just a matter of eating unhealthy fish. The real danger lies in the contamination that many of us don't even know exists in the foods we feed our loved ones. These toxins don't always show up immediately, but over time they can silently undermine your loved one's health, leading to complications you may never have anticipated. Many people assume that all fish are fresh and clean and that they don't need to worry about contamination. After all, fish is often promoted as a clean, healthy source of protein, right? But the reality is, contamination is far more common than you might think, especially when it comes to fish from poorly regulated sources. Fish farming, in particular, has become notorious for using feed and methods that introduce harmful chemicals into the food chain. Even wild-caught fish aren't always free from danger, depending on where they come from. It's easy to forget that not all fish are created equal. We often think that just because fish is readily available at the grocery store or a local market, it must be safe. But unfortunately, the truth is that fish from industrial farms or polluted waters can carry hidden toxins that pose significant risks to health. Contaminated fish is often sold alongside seemingly safe options, and without the right information, it can be hard to tell which fish might be putting your loved one at risk. As you consider your elderly loved one's diet, it's essential to understand that not all fish are as clean and healthy as they seem. The risks are real, and the damage from toxins can be insidious, building up over time before any visible symptoms appear. That's a lot to take in, right? The idea that something as simple as fish could be so full of hidden dangers is unsettling, to say the least. But before you make any changes to your loved one's diet, let's talk about what you can do next to avoid these dangers. We don't have to be victims of this hidden threat, and with a little knowledge and caution, you can ensure your loved one is getting the safest and healthiest meals possible. Stay with me, because in the next part, I'll share simple but effective strategies for making sure the fish you serve is toxin-free, and I'll also give you safer, healthier alternatives to keep your loved one's diet nourishing and risk-free. You don't want to miss this. Let's dive into what you can do to protect the health of the ones you love. It's so easy to overlook these dangers. We want to believe that fish is always a healthy choice, a wholesome, protein-packed food that's good for us, especially when it's served with love, often passed down through generations. But as you've seen, there are hidden risks lurking in the most unexpected places, and they could cost your elderly loved one their health. It's a hard truth, but one we cannot afford to ignore. The risks from mercury, saturated fats, and toxins don't always show up right away, but their long-term impact can be devastating. It's easy to trust that what we've been doing is right, to think that our good intentions are enough. But when it comes to the health of our seniors, we have to be vigilant, not just in what we feed them, but in how we think about the food we give them. If you've been making the mistake of feeding your loved one these harmful fish without realizing the danger, it's important to recognize this as an opportunity, not for guilt or regret, regret, but for change. We have the chance to do better and to choose better for those we care about. What if you've been feeding your loved one these risky fish all along without realizing the harm you were causing? Take a moment to think about that. How would you feel knowing that something so simple, something that seemed so benign, could have been silently impacting their health all this time? It's not about blame, it's about awareness. Awareness that empowers you to take control and make changes before any real damage is done. It's about the realization that with the right information, we can protect those we love from the things that might otherwise harm them. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've taken steps to ensure their meals are healthier, that the foods you're serving are nourishing their bodies without hidden danger. And just think, how much stronger is the connection between you and your loved one when you're not only providing care but also being mindful of every little detail in their well-being. The emotional bond grows when we take the time to understand and act on the things that truly matter to their health. The good news is, now you know better, you're armed with the knowledge to make better choices. You've learned what to look for, what to avoid, and how to take control what goes into your loved one's meals. Now the power is in your hands. You can make informed decisions, ensuring that your elderly family members are only getting the healthiest, most nourishing food possible. It's easy to feel helpless when you realize the potential harm that's been done, but that feeling is temporary. What truly matters is what you do with this knowledge moving forward. You have the ability to change the narrative for your loved one's health. You have the power to choose foods that contribute to their longevity and quality of life, rather than inadvertently putting them at risk. This moment is an invitation to do better, to be proactive about what's best for their health, and to ensure they're not exposed to hidden dangers that could compromise their well-being. It's not just about avoiding the harmful it's about actively seeking out better options, making choices that support their health at every meal. You're already one step ahead by learning about these risks, and now you can continue moving forward with confidence, knowing that you're making a real difference in their lives. As you think about the future, imagine the sense of pride you'll feel knowing that you're providing the best care possible. With the right guidance, with just a few changes to the way you approach their diet, you'll be helping them live a longer, healthier life. So let's take that next step together. Let's make the decision to protect their health today, starting with the fish they eat, because when we know better, we do better, and that's the key to ensuring our loved ones stay safe and healthy for years to come. It's time to face the truth. Ignoring these warning signs doesn't just mean making a poor dietary choice, it can lead to irreversible damage to your loved one's health. The consequences can be far-reaching, affecting not just their body but their quality of life in profound ways. Imagine the heartbreak if you realize months or even years from now that the foods you thought were harmless have been quietly deteriorating their health. The cognitive decline, the mood swings, the physical deterioration, these can be the silent repercussions of continuing to feed them fish that are high in mercury, toxins, and harmful fats. The emotional weight of that regret is something no one should have to. But here's the crucial part. You have the power to change all of this right now. By taking action today, you can stop the cycle of harm. You can be the one who steps in and makes a life-saving difference. The good news is that the choice to protect their health is entirely within your reach. It starts with simply understanding the risks and making smarter, safer food choices. It's about learning to identify the fish that could be causing harm and replacing them with options that will nourish, not harm. You can avoid the mistakes that so many others make and ensure that the foods you serve contribute to their well-being. The path to healthier, longer lives starts with your decisions. Yes, it might seem overwhelming at first, changing habits and replacing long-standing favorites with new, healthier options. But the reality is that the moment you decide to make that change, you've already won half the battle. The rest is just about taking small, manageable steps. These decisions, though tough, are necessary for the health and well-being of your loved ones. There may be a moment of resistance when they question the new foods you're introducing. There may be a time when they reminisce about their old favorites, the fish they've always enjoyed. But remember, these feelings are temporary. What's important is that you've made the choice to protect their health in the long run. You've taken the steps to safeguard their future, and when you see their energy return, their mood lift, their mind become sharper, it will all be worth it. The peace of mind that comes from knowing you've done everything you can to protect their health is priceless. The relief of knowing you've been proactive instead of reactive is a gift that will not only bring comfort to your heart, but also give you the strength to keep moving forward, making the right choices for them each day. Imagine a future where you don't look back with regret, but instead look ahead with pride and satisfaction, knowing that the decisions you made were the ones that kept them healthy and thriving. It's a future where your loved ones feel their best, full of vitality and joy, because you took the time to be careful, to be informed, and to make the right choices. This is the reward for your effort, the reason why it's so important to stand firm in the face of temptation and the easy, familiar choices. These decisions may be tough, but they are the ones that matter most. Every meal, every choice you make for your loved one has the potential to change the course of their health for the better. This is your moment to make that difference. So let's take this journey together, one step at a time, making choices that matter and ensuring that the best years of your loved one's life are filled with health, happiness, and love. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. We've uncovered the dangers lurking in fish high in mercury, those rich in unhealthy saturated fats, and even those at risk of contamination. But there's one last piece of the puzzle, a critical tip that could make all the difference in your senior's diet. It's a piece I'm saving for the next video because, as you'll soon see, there's so much more to the story of food and aging. Stay tuned for that, and let's continue this important conversation. Now I'm curious, out of all the fish we've discussed today, which do you think is the most dangerous for seniors? Have you noticed any of these troubling signs in your loved ones? I want to hear your thoughts and experience. Drop them in the comments below, and let's talk about how we can keep our seniors healthy and safe. Your input is invaluable, and I'm here to support each of you on this journey. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden dangers in your loved one's diet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the next video, where we'll explore even more ways to enhance their health. And while you're at it, give this video a like and share it with anyone who could benefit from these tips. Let's work together to spread the word and help everyone make healthier, safer choices for their elderly family members. Thank you for joining me on this eye-opening journey today. Your commitment to understanding these issues and taking care of your loved ones is truly inspiring. Remember, this is just the beginning. There's much more to come. Stay tuned for future videos that will help you navigate the world of elderly care and health awareness with confidence. Until next time, take care of yourselves and those you love. Keep making those informed choices, and I'll see you in the next one.